Hey everyone, guess who's back? It's Kamish, back here with the another video team preview. This time it's Mark and Luck Commander. With Mark, I mean, he's taken over a 19th place team from last year, a qualifier. Out of all the new teams, I thought Mark probably had the biggest challenge out of all of them. So obviously he really needed to nail his draft. Maybe he needs to maybe get lucky on the waiver wire, but basically, you saw his schedule there. His week 1 opponent is new owner Danny there. All right. So it's a divisional battle. See Mark opening up with a loss here. Looking at it, I think for Danny's team, he's got the Cards defense against Jimmy G, week 1, Sunday primetime. I have a funny feeling that's going to be a bit of a shootout, but definitely more in favor of Arizona, and I think Jimmy G is going to make a couple fatal mistakes, maybe a pick 6, fumble for 6, which will be big points for the Cards defense. Week 2, he'll take on Milan in the 6-9. I see Mark getting his first win there. Looking at the matchup there, I think his players have better matchups. I think they're more favorable, and I think that will allow him to get the W. Week 3, he takes on the Commission Stars. I think it's going to be a loss. It's going to be interesting to watch this one. He's got Derek Carr. I got Mariota. They play each other in that one. And looking at the matchups aren't very good for the Commish. But I think my IDPs are going to find a way to win it. But it's definitely going to be close. I don't write off marking an upset in that one. Week 4 against US1 and Steven. Well, we already saw his preview. It's going to be a win for Mark. Luck Commander and Mark, just more of a complete team. Steven, of course, missed the draft. Luck Commander was there. So a 2-2 start through 4 weeks. Not bad for Mark. Week 5 against Joshua and Cry Phoenix. I see that one actually being a loss. Looking at the matchup, he's got a lot of IDPs on the bye. Mark does, and I think that's going to play a factor. Week 6, he'll take on Gwevin and Monsters of the Midway. Another loss here for Mark. Monsters is just too deep of a roster. Took over a really good roster there and had a decent draft, so that's going to be a loss for Mark. Week 7, taking on Ron and Steel Curtain. Another loss for Mark, I see. I think Big Ben is going to have a big game against Brady there in New England. I think that's going to be a shootout, and I think Steel Curtain will get some big points in that one. So after a 2-2 start, 3 straight losses. Week 8, though, divisional rival Luke, too good for a name, brings him back on the winning track. Looking at the matchup, Levy and Bell is on the bye for Luke, as well as one of his receivers then, Marcus Wheaton as well, so that's going to play a factor. Week 9, taking on George and Pack Attack. I see a loss here for Mark. Looks like Derek Carr has a tough matchup where for George, Eli Manning takes on Philadelphia, so that's a good matchup for him. I think Pack Attack finds a way to win there. Week 10 against Sean and Haha Dix. See a loss here. Dix is just too deep of a team. Really made some improvements this year. Carson Palmer is also playing San Francisco in that game for Dix, so I think Palmer could be good for probably 4 or 5 touchdowns in that one. Week 11 versus Robert and Templars. Another loss. Be interesting to watch this one. Kevin White is Luck Commander's wide receiver. Odell Beckham, Templars wide receiver. They play each other that week, so obviously they're both going to be watching that game intently, I'm sure. And then week 12, taking on Chronic Master Deflator. We already saw his preview. Going to be another loss here for Mark. It's going to be a tight game, but I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a loss. So where does that put Mark? Puts him at a 3-9 season. Pretty much the same as Steven in US1. I will say this, though. I think Mark, even though we have a 3-9 projection, I think he had a decent draft. I think the big mistake for Mark, if he had to have a do-over, would maybe not to be select Derek Carr, 2nd overall in the draft. With how thin it is at running back, I think it probably would have been smart to choose one of the good running backs available there. Probably could have got Derek Carr in the 2nd round. But obviously, new league, new learning experience for Mark and Luck Commander, but I definitely like his commitment, and I think he's going to definitely be on the cusp of staying in this league, and who knows? I think he might have what it takes to stay in the league, but we'll have to find out with some of the other projections. Good luck, Mark.